Okay, hi, welcome back. This is a short video, well, I hope it's going to be short, about the business lessons from my crisis amidst the last coronavirus pandemonium and how I used it to thrive, prosper, and build the life that I really, really want. I'm Anric, and this is a follow-up to my previous video where I spoke about the lessons that I learned from living in the middle of the coronavirus SARS outbreak in Hong Kong and how I learned to thrive. That video was a little bit more personal in nature and deals more with the personal crisis that living in such a frightening times can either make or break you. I suggest watching it if you haven't yet. The link to that video is in the description and in the comments below. So building on that video, this one is more focused on my business breakthroughs and the 7 steps that I took to immediately turn my life around. So number 1 was get your home and family situation secured and safe so that you can focus on the battle ahead. Check out the previous video on more of that if you want more details on that. Here is the Venn diagram that I showed in that video where I drew an overlap between the stuff that matters, the stuff that you can control, and the stuff that you can schedule right now. It's really good stuff, pun absolutely intended. Number 2, cut your overhead, fixed and unnecessary waste and expenses now. And I mean right now, to give you a longer runway later, and you will find out why. Number 3, take a bias exam. What I mean by that is that you analyze the last 10 articles, videos, the posts that resonated with you, that you read. Were they positive? Were they light? Or were they comparing the current situation and how the flu is so much worse, how you have a greater chance to be killed in a car accident? Or are you watching cat and dog videos on the internet and sweeping the problem under the carpet? The other extreme is totally negative, panicked and reacting to absolutely every bit of bad news and sharing, posting, and commenting on everything negative and getting yourself and those around you into a tizzy. It's important to be self-aware of what your current bias is so that you know what's driving your instinct and your decisions later on in step 7. Number 4, get in touch with all of your clients, prospects, their clients, friends, even competitors. They are all freaking out. And the leadership, strength, and kindness that you demonstrate today will elevate your position in life like no marketing campaign ever could. So if you're quarantined or self-isolating, find new and creative ways to reach, connect, and do business with each other. Just think of it like this. Our grandparents were jumping off barges into the jaws of death in 1944. And here we are, we have Netflix, LinkedIn, Facebook, Zoom calls, iPhones, and of course, Amazon. In Hong Kong, living in the middle of SARS in 2003, where mortality rates were closer to 22%, I personally connected with each and every client, my top 100 prospects, 3 times a week. It's only by talking, interacting, connecting, and asking questions that we can find out what their issues are, problems, fears, and wants, so that you can go forward to the next step, which I'm going to recommend. Number 5, put your Yoda ears on or your Morpheus hat on every morning before turning on the TV, PC, Mac, or phone, and come up with me to 40,000 feet so that you can see the source code, the road ahead, the forest from above, where others can't even see where north is because all they see is the trees that are falling on them. But you have to do this before you're in the fear, panic, and reaction rabbit hole. Leadership means showing people the way out of their maze or leading them to the transformation and result that they don't yet have. But you need to be able to see the road from above. So schedule thinking time to think and strategize your next moves ahead. If you will indulge me, I would like to tell you a short little story that had a profound impact on me. The story and the concept of thinking time was first introduced to us when Laura Louise and I were part of Tony Robbins' inner circle called the Platinum Partnership. He invited us to a new program he created called Business Mastery. And during this event, he introduced us to a terrific guy called Keith Cunningham. Keith told the story of when he was still a deal maker in the cable TV space. They would buy up and merge various cable companies into these massive players, refinance them, and move on to the next one. And in one of these deals, his investment bank at the time, Drexel Burnham, told him that because this particular deal, even though it was approved, was so big, it would need sign-off by the king of junk bonds himself, Michael Milken. So Keith was briefed by the team that the meeting would commence with 5 of the 6 chairs occupied, and after about 20 minutes, the door would open and Mr. Milken would join the meeting in order to miss the front-end pleasantries and introductions. He just wanted to attend the guts and the important part of the meeting. So as predicted, at minute 18, the boss walks in and joins the meeting. Keith continues with his pitch for this massive merger when, lo and behold, there is a second interruption and a knock on the door. At this point, a young associate apologizes for the interruption and says, "Mr. Milken, this is about T-Boon's bid for Gulf Oil." At which point, Mr. Milken took out his slimline, pocket diary. Remember those when we used to have those? This one's by Hermé. I love this one. And said, "The next time I'm scheduled to think is Thursday morning at 0600 hours. So I will have an answer for you by 0730. Is that okay?" At which point the young executive apologized for the interruption and left. Keith thought that this was such a wonderful idea and he started practicing it. But every time he sat on the couch to think, he promptly nodded off and fell asleep. Years later, as he tells a story, he bumped into Milken at an event and told him of his falling asleep during thinking time. At which point Michael Milken advised him that you need a designated thinking place, a special desk with a special book and a special pen, just to kind of set the scene, And at the top of each session, you write, "What is it that I am not seeing?" And then you go forth and answer that question. You see, the benefit of doing this is twofold. As men, we automatically want to fix everything and to find solutions for people's problems so that we can go back to what we were doing and, we grab the best solution and get on with our day. But if you give yourself the luxury of knowing that you only need to really think about this and make a decision on Thursday morning at 0600 hours, well, then you can spend the 5 or 6 days preceding it gathering data, ideas, inputs, and objections, knowing that you don't need to quite decide until Thursday. This prevents you from reacting and grabbing the first almost suitable solution. But it also gives you an opportunity to really focus on the issues, free of distraction, but armed with information, ideas, viewpoints, and facts. Keith tells that story with such a southern charm and humor. I really do suggest you connect with him and make use of some of his teaching and books at keystothevault.com. Anyway, back to your and my thinking time. Every day, right now, before that panic bear grabs hold of you and your brain, you need to think, take notes, make bulleted lists, flowcharts, Venn diagrams. Or if you're German like me, draw boxes that lead to other boxes. You got this. I know it. You just have to set yourself up to win. Number 6, use any extended downtime to educate yourself, listen to webinars, podcasts, get online coaching, digital training, whatever you can do to learn the skills to, number 1, differentiate yourself from the pack, and number 2, connect and grow with your targeted perfect client audience, and number 3, learn how to truly impact and transform your clients' lives. So coming to point number 7, by combining 5 and 6, so that's combining thinking time with an online education and coaching, you're able to see the path of what this looks like 3, 6, even 12 months from now. And only by having talked to your clients, their friends, competitors, and mentors, can you actually see what state they're in, what their issues are, and thus where the opportunity exists for a brave firefighter and opportunity engineer like yourself. But whatever you do, do it whilst wearing your "How can I help you" glasses.